lane if you're going to make a TP play, like if you're on Shen or something like that. Usually it's on a certain like contingent like thing that you're gonna like make the play, right? So it's like on this cannon, we're just gonna all in her, or when she walks up to hit this range minion or the next ability, like we're gonna all in her. But like that type of coordination, like no matter who you are, whether you're support, whether you're top, or whether you're jungle, it's always like it's whether like you're in lane communicating it, whether you're top lane communicating it, like if you're Shen level 6, or if you're jungle ganking, like this is all super important. Again, and also for like mid laner to call it as well. So that was the timestamp I meant. Like it's a very basic thing, but like it's something that everybody should be doing, and it should be like a very common practice because like that's where plays usually get fumbled. Is like, oh, you went too early. If you just waited a second, right? Like that's happened more times I think than I can recall. Like in my personal experience. So another one was a timestamp where there was no real target calling. So I think again this one because it kind of popped up a few times. Um, Usually like the carry of the fight really should be like saying who they can and can't hit. It's like a pretty common practice as well. I think we did it sometimes. We just didn't do it consistently, but like that's just something that again, it's just a common
I've been trying to do that more often. It's like a
yeah, because at the same
sometimes
time, right? Like the other person that's saying something really is like your playmaker. So like if your Jarvan's going in on like the flashless Senna, like obviously he's gonna be like Senna.
yeah.
But then you as AD carry be like hit here because like that's what you can hit, right? And that's what they should be hitting. So
Yeah, for sure.
target calling came up a few times. Kind of skipping forward. There was like a really big play bot side. I know Kaladin mentioned it at the 12-minute and 10-second mark. Actually, was that the one that it says if we have TP top? Yes, we should rip it bot. This was like a 3v3. I think Kaladin ends up like ripping it a little bit late. Again, this is just like one of those things that kind of like goes into what I just said, so I won't cover that too much. But it's like if we're gonna make like an all-in play across map, we just have to like make sure we're consciously listening.
Which
Especially if we're
timestamp
playing
was
Shen.
this?
This was 12 minutes and 10 seconds. It specifically was a bot lane play. I wish I could see which one it was. I don't know if this was the one that we were talking about. I think in DMs where you're like there was a TP bot where it was like really rough. I don't know if it was this one or if it was.
No, that was specifically the Cassante game. We made a TP play bot lane, and it went well bot, but the Mbessa just stayed top and got a huge lead off of it. Got first turret.
Gotcha.
But I see what you're saying here too.
Yeah. There was a really, really big thing, and this happens with a lot of teams that I work with. If your carry communicates that they can't get a reset, like whatever objective it is, like we screw up the tempo of the game. It's just like unless it's something like an Elder or Soul or Baron that's gonna like lose us the game. I remember a Jinx couldn't get a reset. There was like a window where like she could have, but then like for whatever reason like couldn't. So it got interrupted. Whatever. I can't remember exactly what stopped the base. I think it was like catching a half a wave or whatever. But you're like
half a wave because I decided my back wasn't very good. Like
yeah.
I look at it and I would have been like finishing Yuntal and then buying like nothing because I need to save for IE after. So I was like, that's not that big. I'll just stay for tempo.
Yeah. So which was great, which is fine. Like it's not a misplay that you stay, but the misplay is that you did a great job communicating it, but then your team wanted to do a full fight around Dragon while you're sitting on like 2.1.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to fight the Dragon too.
I do vaguely remember that actually.
I wanted to fight. I looked back at Chad and I talked about this actually because it was mostly a disagreement between us. I looked back at it and I really wanted to fight, but only if we rotated down faster and never let them walk through try. Like I said like I want to fight them on try, don't let them through here. Then Chad was hesitant because he wanted to recall, so we backed off. So they walked through, and then at that point I didn't even want the fight anymore. And my communication around all that was definitely not good enough because if I only want the fight under specific circumstances, I need to say what those are. And as soon as I don't want it, I need to just be like, go, leave, recall. Like it's not happening.
Yeah.
I feel like it was weird because like we weren't fast enough, but then we still came, and so everyone felt baited into like we had to take the fight.
Yeah, there was another play. It was, I think you might remember this still. This was for you. You like solo caught a wave like here. Like you were trying to catch a wave high.
It's
so
probably
that way
when
your
I
team could
rotate.
get
It's
high
probably
on
the
them to
sill when
river.
you and I had when I was
Well,
in.
Yeah, this is
yeah.
We had a whole full
Yeah.
conversation about this. We already talked about this one.
Well, even I was gonna say, well, even at like a basic, like even if we think that people are like starting to walk, like we're not allowed to enter, like especially because like the tower was down, like this area, an 80 carry can never enter unless there's like jungle or support hover somewhere around here. Or there's like
Yeah.
or there's like obvious vision where you can play to like one side of the river, like or one side of the lane if you split it like this, that you can just like hug either side of this, right? Because then at least you have like a safe pocket to play. But like I
Yeah.
think like the way that it was is like you were right here, right in the middle of the wave with there was like no vision on either side. And then what ends up happening is they were like sitting here and then they just like jumped you before you're even
Yeah.
able to get your
Yeah,
wave to
and
crash.
what kind of happened on our side is I was hovering him a little bit, but then Chad and I think it was Matt started fighting Braum.
Chad and Matt were like really calling for a fight. Like,
And so
down in
I
Tri, which
I
Yeah,
started
there was-
rotating towards
I
that,
think
and it
those
left
comms
Sill.
were like mind control.
I
Um,
think,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, this is what I saw for positioning here. If I remember, it was like, yeah, it was something like this. There was like a whole river fight. Like this is where the team was, and then this is where 80.
I don't think mid was there. I think mid was somewhere else, but there's definitely three of us right there. And like I said,
Mid was bot, and he got there first, but he got there late
Yeah.
and then died. Like he got there like before the fight. Like
yeah, it was a scuffle. Like I said, I remember like rotate. They're like calling it, so I started rotating down, but it left you out to dry in the mid lane, and then they just went on you mid lane. Maybe I got
especially
I got a little
versus-
mind controlled to collapse on a Braum there for no
yeah,
reason.
I think something that's kind of tough sometimes is like, I don't know, I feel like I have a big instinct to call off any play that doesn't involve me, and sometimes that's not right. Like sometimes there are plays that like are good that don't need me, but I do also feel like we have a tendency to like, I'll say I'm not there and call off a play, and then we'll just do it anyway. And like, sometimes we handscap them and win, but also it seems kind of like poor decision making to me.
Sometimes
Yeah.
we're too reliant on we can outplay this, we can win this because we've done it enough times that we just can. Like we just think we can.
Yeah.
Another one. This is like a basic one for jungle. It's just like good common practice. Is that whenever we do dragon, unless we 100% know that it's uncontested and that somebody's making a cross map play, the dragon should always be here in the middle lane. Like it's 100% always pulled no matter what. And it's not necessarily because of steal, because people can go over wall this way, but because it creates like a standoff line, right? Like you see it in pro play where people are able to kind of like position how they want, and then they kind of go for this dragon, and then it's like a game of dodgeball. So it's like it limits the amount of area in which that you can get jumped, especially like when it's just right in the middle of the map here, because then you can literally just pink ward your flanks, like a banana bush and this one here, and then there's only one angle that they could actually flank you from, and this is generally where like your top lane will sit, and then like your tanky supports here, and then you just kind of have everybody else in the middle. And then it's just a game of dodgeball. But like almost 100% of the time, it's just like auto habit that jungler should almost automatically pull the dragon out here, and then you guys can pink here, and then you can just do like a basic ward here, and then you pretty much have all your flanks covered. Like you don't ever get smushed here. But a couple of times this kind of like almost like fisted you guys by the dragon being in like in pit and like weird skirmishes happening in a pit area. That's like a very common one for when we do dragon. We should always pull it out. Let's see. That was the last one for game one without being able to review it as like stand stuff. But like I think the highlight here again is like just to kind of like recap. Trends like when we're ganking, doesn't matter whether we're top, whether we're mid, whether we're support, a carry, etc. It should always be on something. When this guy uses W, when they TP here, I'm gonna go. If they walk past this river, I'm gonna go, etc. Give it like everybody's on the same page, so when it happens, then we all just commit to it, and then it's
at like the same time.
Yeah. Let's see. Game 2. This is
our hey, we're just perma-scaling game.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
This one was like should have been so mega free and then was messy, but like
what happened at the end that was made it so messy? There was like one play it was like we were cruising. It was they even said F like GG in chat. And then all of a sudden there was like one play where they like got Baron off it, and I don't remember what happened.
There was one moment where I think I got picked. I think every single game this series I got picked once midwave for no reason. Like, and a lot of them were like weird miscommunications or stuff, but I think one of them was just like I was the Thanos Smolder and I died. Like I went to we had Azir, right?
Yeah, we had Azir.
Yes.
Yeah, Azir fought and died in bot try, and while Chad was on a roam, like before Dragon, and then I rotated to the fight late and also died.
Is that what
and
happened?
Like, yeah, it was like complete horror. I think.
Yeah, I just remember that. Like we were like easy cruising. The game was free, and then we made like one mistake that was like, ooh, okay, we need to lock in a little bit, and then we were fine. But
yeah.
Sorry. Okay, go.
No, you're good. You're good. This one, I remember. So Xin was starting topside, and then he was like full clearing down to you guys. Something I don't see a lot of teams do, and I try to like get teams to try to do more, especially if you're like double range bot and you can get prio. As Smolder Nami, you guys had prio where you actually could have like force crash a wave, because the thing with like double range bot, right? Like once you have prio, you always have prio, and the reason is because like if you when you have your standoff wave, right, and you hit level 2 and then they're level 1, they like back off, and then you're able to like get the wave to like here, and then the other wave meets, and then you're up XP, you're able to catch the wave even sooner that's coming in, right? You catch it high because your level advantage, and then you're able to just like constantly shove this wave. What I'd like to see teams do, especially with their double range bot, even with like Smolder, Nami, Emilio, whatever, like Varus Karma, that when your jungler is pathing down to you and they hit this raptor, is a perfect time, if you can, to try to crash your wave. Usually this is like a 2 or 3 wave crash. So that way it starts to like come back and return here, and then it's a better state for when Xin Zhao comes here and he's able to transition game.
Okay.
At least it sets it up.
Even crash around Raptors. We're probably gonna be playing a lot more of those, like, because like Braum got nerfed, Rel got nerfed, like Ali got nerfed. Like I feel like all of Chad's melee sports got nerfed.
Yeah, and I
think we may be entering a range support meta.
And we've been kind of playing. I don't know if you've even noticed. Still, I've noticed because it's me that I've been playing a lot more tanks top in our scrims. Which is fine, like because the meta's kind of started to shift that way, and so I think that we probably end up doing that a lot more. I agree.
Yeah, I have a couple more like mega carries in my pool now. Like I'm like Smolder's like officially dusted off. I'm really liking Yunara, and I think she works well in that slot. Jinx is like my traditional one. She's still all right in the right comp. I'm not like quite as high on her, but she's okay.
Another thing too, like with this,
Xayah is still mega, but Xayah needs to be like late picked.
Yeah,
basically.
R3 for after.
I think like I see a lot of teams doing is like they, especially on blue side, they'll blind something like a Zen, or they can do like Trundle, and like this is all fine. They'll do like one of these or like a Wukong, and then they pair it with like Rakan. So then what happens is like when the other team thinks like, oh, I'm just gonna ban Xayah, then you can just like run Kai'Sa, and then like you're still a bad comp. You can also run like Sivir.
Rakan is pickable. Xayah's not pickable solo, like, but Rakan is pickable.
Yeah.
So early, and he's just good in so many spots.
Super good. Yeah. So if you ever plan on going that route, that's a recommendation. But yeah, to like also to like this point, right? Like if you constantly have this prio, if they're full HP, then what you can do is you can literally just keep shoving the wave, and that also gives in free move to this bot crab, because then if their jungler tries to come contest, obviously like you cut him off, then he has to go here, then he's gonna run all the way up around, then he's gonna try to get this crab, and like this walk is literally like a 30-second walk, which is 30 seconds of tempo that your jungler gets to do something else. Even if it's reset, literally it's like an 8-second recall, because that's how long recall is. And then like to about here is like 20 seconds. So that time that you just spent the jungler having to go get top crab, your jungler is already in his top side. And he can either, like if his camp's not up, because top camps, all like the first camp always spawns at like 4 minutes and 20 seconds about, they can like literally just like transition gank top, or they can have a wave to go here, or because they're off their reset, like if jungler decided like, oh, well, I'm going to screw around and mess up and gank mid when I'm like being forced to go here, they're even more off tempo. So like your jungler can like meet him here and like have a standoff, right? Like it opens up a lot of windows just
Yeah,
by
like,
literally you getting this prio and making this guy having to walk all the way here to get this crab.
Yeah, if you get prio and your jungler wants to do stuff with it, it's like
Yeah,
world
like
of
Giga.
possibilities.
Yeah. And then a comment I had for your jungler for the way that they ganked. So if you remember, the wave kind of got to about here, and then Xin did like a really good cheeky gank coming like behind the wall here. And then there was like a wave incoming. The only thing that I would have liked to have seen is if like Xin Q prepped on the wave. So like he just does like Q2 like
Okay,
on
yeah,
the
I remember
minions,
that-
and then
that dive.
then E dash in, and then the guy's automatically knocked up, and then you can W after, and then the slow. So even if he flashes, he's 90% slow, and he's only about like here when it happens, and you guys can actually probably still kill that without dying.
I think we got the kill with my flash, but I think I didn't
Right,
need to
but
flash
because
probably
yeah,
if we
you
do
did,
it like
you did,
that.
yeah. It's just like something that's like super common.
It just
on
makes I think like it's like a kind of like sneakily difficult sometimes when you like get a you like get a lead bot lane, like you double kill them but you use your flash on like an immobile champ, and then it's just like, okay, so they're gonna come gank me and get the shutdown, like
Yeah.
because I literally like can't live.
Or
But like if you
what's
get
even
that and still have flash, it's like so OP.
yeah, or what's like even worse, right? Like because now that you don't have flash, generally you're doing this, and like this all happened. This timestamp was at like 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Well, dragon spawning not too far after this, and then what? You're gonna have to give dragon now. Like what if
Yeah,
you wanted to
exactly,
take
like-
dragon? So it's like, was it worth? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like I got 2 kills, but I feel like I'm behind for the next
Right now
5
you're
minutes.
behind
Like,
because
it's so
now
weird.
it's yeah. That's like 80 carry life in a nutshell.
For
Especially
real.
in this meta. Smile.
It's so good. It's so good. I love my role.
It's so good. You just go tank smolder every game. Just go Spear of Shojin and that freaking
Unironically, like,
bullshit.
Every tank that everybody that's like you get to building like Ruby Crystal's the best item in the game for sure. And
For sure.
building ADCs aren't allowed to build it except for like a few. So
yeah, so if you're able to get
every
it in
time
like
you
2
play
items
like
like
a
that,
Ruby Crystal ADC, you really feel it.
for
Honestly.
sure. 100%. Let's see here. Other timestamps, again, some more target calling things. Again, this is just like people saying who they can hit and who they're going on or that they're looking. It's like a really big one that not a lot of like people
Probably
are
having
doing.
like
So
a team discussion, because I think target calling is like pretty nuanced. It's like, you know, like
yeah.
because sometimes the divers need to call, sometimes I need to call. Like I think as a team,
Yeah.
like understanding like what situations are right for which things could probably be a good conversation.
Yeah, so like with usually how it is with like supports, like it's usually people. Actually, I shouldn't even say supports. These are people with go buttons. Generally, are the people that should only ever say like in quotations looking. They should never say who to hit. They should always say that they're looking. They should never be targeting like specifically target calling. They should always just use like the one word looking for like actual champs to be called out. Should always be like 80 carry, or if they're like a carry mid
Makes
laner.
sense. I think that's a good like rule of thumb.
You know what I mean? Because then when you hear champion name, that means that's who you can hit. But if you're an engager or you're a support or you're a top laner or something, you can just say like looking whatever champ. But then you're just like, if you're just like saying, you know, like Lulu or Kaisa or whatever, right? Then
Yeah,
like
just
that's who
say
people should
whoever
be
I'm
hitting.
like clicking on.
Right. That's what everybody should be clicking on.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me look at some of the other notes here. This one, it says we should talk about a dive bot if they stay and for Xin to be posturing for it. Yeah, there was a time where, like, if I remember correctly, Xin was doing this and he completed his camps. I think your top lane got ganked by something. And then these guys took a chunk from you, but we never even talked about a potential dive here. And when we did, mid was already able to move because what happened is instead of jungle just like posturing and sitting in this bush, I think he like crept outside of it a little bit, and then the mid laner was able to move, and then there was like a whole ass 4v4 in this blue side. So it's like it's important to, especially like when we're playing like junglers or playmakers, etc. Like using bushes and like not moving from bushes or trying to hit the minimum amount of bushes is super important, because with what people can't see, like obviously like they have to be talking about and they have to play for it, like worst case scenario. It's just like when you watch like one of like those horror movies, right? Like what's a good one? Paranormal Activity. Like the only reason why Paranormal Activity is so scary is because it actually shows nothing, right? It literally shows nothing in the movie, but you're picturing the worst thing that you can fucking see. So for me, it could be a clown But for you, it could be like Haunter from Pokemon. I don't know. I'm just making it up. But you know what I mean? Like it could be like something completely different. So like in League, it's the same thing. With what you don't see, you have to be like, oh shit, I have no flash. This guy's right here. Right?
Yeah,
Or the support's like, no, he's
if you
here.
don't know,
Like,
if you don't know, you have to plan for a worst case scenario because otherwise you'll be dead.
Exactly. And then that makes them play overly respectful, and that alone is pressure just by not showing. So like when we're in a bush, we just have to be super disciplined that we just stay in the bushes and we don't like accidentally like click out in one of these areas, right? But I remember this distinctly because then it turned into like a 4v4 bloodbath, which I think you guys won, if I remember correctly. I can't remember.
I
think you guys did. It was like a full death one here.
This one was not good. I didn't feel good about this one. Like it was like even.
I think it was an even trade. I think you guys ended up trading even. But you zoned off Kai'Sa. Like Kai'Sa lost a wave or something.
Yeah. That's what it was. She lost an incoming wave for like this full like 4v4. I think it was. Instead of it being a gank, it turned into like a 4v4 or something. It was something.
Yeah, was this the one where I died, or is that a different one?
I'm pretty sure it's the one.
No, you died. Yes,
this is 100% the one where.
Your team cleaned up the fight.
Okay, it was worth it. I remember feeling like this one was the worst. Yeah. I was like, no, this is no good.
Yeah. Let's see.
I think he crept, if I remember right, and I mean I'm top, so I'm not completely paying attention, but like Mass like crept out a little bit and started fighting to zone, and you and Chad like left to try and help while you stayed on the wave for a second, and then you rotated over, but then by that point Talia and the jungler for them was there. Like it was like super weird.
Oh, this was another one. This was at 19 minutes. I remember this one. This was, we had a hint that they were here in blue side after a play because this play happened when we play a couple sequence of jungler resetting and then clearing towards bot. And then like they looked for a gank and nothing went through. Then they did another reset. And then we called that they were in their bot side here. And then what ends up happening is that jungle, because they're mirroring like the entire game, they end up like walking here and they want to get vision before an objective. And there was no vision here or any like deep vision down here to see where they are, and we called them here, and like they face check a bush here and just got like blown up here. And this was one of the ones where you, Sil, were catching a mid wave, and you said like, hey, they're in their blue side, be careful. I'm catching one wave and then I'm gonna move, and then like they move without you. I think like these types of plays, it's really tough because in solo queue you can definitely get away with just like walking here and then like placing a ward because you don't have 5 people in comms that are like, hey, when this guy does this, like we're just gonna kill him. But like it's like those are like solo QE where nobody is allowed to ever walk. Like if this entire thing is black, you literally all have to walk mid, and then you go through this point here as a team, and then you can try to force entry and then like get your words here, whatever. Because now you're ready for like a 5v5 or whatever. But we can't ever just like not do this and then this and think that we can just do this because it's quicker, that it makes more sense. Because like this ends up burning a lot of teams, or like if worst case scenario, like this guy does this and then you try to walk and help him, and then now they're hitting you from this way and you like burn flash, and now there's like a dragon fight that you have to give up because you don't have flash. It's like it's weird things, right? Because this happens to a lot of teams where one player goes in and then you feel the responsibility to like help them because you shoved your wave. Oh, I'm gonna help you, but then you end up having to like flash out or something weird. Because that's what good teammates do.
Good teammates walk over and
die for no reason. Smile. I'll burn my flash to try to save you. Let's see. We should take resets. Come off tempo. Let's see. Cancel. Yeah, this was like it was just the last timestamp of game 2. It was kind of the same thing, so I'm not going to hit that again. But it just showed that it happened a couple times where like solo catching mid waves, especially on AD carry, like because I know it's super easy to do because it's the shortest lane, so technically by nature it's the safest until this tower falls, and then now it's like one of the scariest, right?
I mean it's still the safest. I just have to be more respectful.
Yeah, for sure. So let's see. I think that was it for game 2 without the replay. That's pretty much the high level things I can remember. This one here.
Yeah, I think something that is like, I feel like 90% of my job in this game is like communicating like where my state on the wave and like when I can go to fights is, and
yeah, there's things also. If I remember when I watched your POV, something you're AD carry, right, Sil?
Yeah.
Okay. Something that I remember you doing a lot. You have like this. It's funny. You have like a Twitch where you hit like it's. I do the same thing where you hit tab a lot, but you don't actually look to see like where champions' power spikes are to see like when you guys can fight and when you can't fight. I think something that you and Chad, is that your sport? Is that right?
Yeah.
Where you guys can like constantly talk about what you want to be doing in lane. 90% of the talking in the first like until the first tower falls or until the first like macro decision happens where you're gonna like rotate to grubs or whatever. Like 90% of the talking should be you and him in lane and like what you guys want to do. Maybe you just been playing together so much that everything's so organic that you just like are in each other's heads. And that could very well be a thing. I do know.
We're definitely in each other's heads quite a bit. Like we've been playing a long time, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't. There aren't more things to say than we're saying. Like we could definitely be talking more. There's always another level to talk about things, I think.
Yeah, like that was just gonna be like the last thing that I brought up for that is like constantly talking about being like, oh, I'm on one item here, or oh, there are no sums. So like when they walk up, like we can look for a trade, so we can get prio for our bot or our jungle that's coming and doing this path or whatever. It's just like something that can like again, it just people lose the fact of when they're like really weak and strong just by not quickly just hitting tab and just doing a gold check to see like if this guy's on a BF sword, but like you're on like BF and like component, like then you can start like analyzing, oh, can I win?
Yeah.
And then like another thing that people don't do, especially in like the pregame, is being like, what runes does he have? Because like what if this guy decided that he wanted to take fleet and then like for some reason you're like, I'm gonna take like PTA. Like that changes
look
the
at the runes,
you know what I mean?
and loading screen.
Yeah. But like, does everybody, does your support, like, are they on the same page as you in terms of like what you're supposed to be doing in this lane? Because
it's like
what if they grief and he took? Yeah, what if he's like griefing, like, hey, did you see that this guy's trolling and took fleet and I have PTA? You know what I mean? This is like a common practice, and it's like the same. It could be the same thing top. It could be the same thing mid. Like runes can definitely change how somebody plays the game. Like if like a top lane matchup, if Kaladin's like Shen, right, and he's like taking grasp and he's versus a Gwen, and all of a sudden she's like, oh, I took electrocute. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's different, right?
For sure.
So it's just like something to think about. And I'm not saying that he's not on the same page. Maybe he is, but just in case, because like maybe he has a
even
day
if we're
where
both
like,
on the same page, it's worth talking about though, because then it confirms it. We both know that each other are on the same page. Like calming is always good.
Yeah, for sure. And I can also understand like over communication is also a thing, but like I think a real thing is just like always, no matter what, it's just like it's power spikes, and then it's like runes, and then also like summoner spells. Because I've been seeing a lot of AD carries take like flash and ghost because now it's like becoming super meta. But like, what if you have like flash and you have barrier, right? So now you can do like more like heavy trading, like small trading, but like like long trading, like versus ghost isn't going to be favored for you. So like with barrier, like how you're supposed to play the lane now because this guy just took
honestly,
one.
A lot of the times, ghost is it's like even for like long fights, barrier honestly is still better for lane. Yeah. Barrier is just the lane sum, and ghost is the like scaling sum, I would say.
Yeah.
Right. You're not doing any fighting in lane, and you're just like playing for dragon fight, which is something that like ADCs have to do sometimes. It's just like you're just like literally only playing the scale. Then ghost is better for that on a lot of champs. Yeah,
no, absolutely. But yeah, those are like that's just what I mean by like for the communication part. Game 3. Okay, this was your game 3. We are red side. God, I'm dizzy. Yeah, we're back red side, right? This is us. Jin.
Well, I'm Jin. Yeah, probably. Okay, I'm Jin. Cool. Yeah, we're Jin Boy.
Yeah. All right, cool. This one. There was a support.
Yeah, I was muted. Sorry, really quick.
Oh, you're good.
One thing I think we messed up because we talked a little bit about the Mbessa Cassante matchup, and part of me wanted to try it, just kind of get a feel because I haven't played that matchup very much.
Yeah.
But I do think that we kind of screwed up because counters to Zac or to Mbessa had already been played like Zac and Shen, and then their first bans was Irelia, who's a counter, and then they banned Yorick, who's my other like another counter, or maybe it was vice versa. And so I think we probably
were gonna Aatrox as well. But you weren't worried about the Aatrox.
Well, that's another one that I did think that they were gonna play was Aatrox. And they ended up going to Mbessa, but we had banned Mbessa previously, and I think that when we saw the Yorick ban, we probably should have pivoted from banning mid laners. I know we were trying to protect Wei, but we probably should have banned the Mbessa because they were banning stuff that was specific to being countered.
Like you're like running out of Mbessa picks. So
and the one, I don't know if you remember me saying
it?
this. Yeah, they were telegraphing it. And one thing that I did say, I kind maybe I just got nervous and when didn't do it just based on our comp. Gangplank is another counter to Mbessa, but I haven't played that champion very much lately. Like I used to play a lot of it, but it's a super hard champion. Yeah, that's the other one that I haven't. I played a little bit of Renekton. I probably could have just been like, oh, let's just full send the Renekton as a counter too.
Yeah, I was thinking like Renekton. Renekton is like the most common one. Renekton. Especially like with Karma, like it's also good, right? Like it's super good, I think.
Yeah, breaks the shield. Anyways, sorry, continue though.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah, there's plenty. I don't know all of your champ pool, but I knew.
I think we also talked about you really liked a Nico pick here, but we went Pyke because I think Chad really wanted to play the Pyke and not play the Nico. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think that the Pyke felt much worse for lane, but it was probably good for roams.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
I don't remember how good this Pyke game went.
But like like when you think about it, right? So like we are forward Pykes. So we saw Varus Karma and we saw Amumu. So we know Amumu's jungle, and then we see Varus Karma, and then we blind Pyke. So now they end up going and why it's like terrible to blind Pyke, in my opinion, is like who's he playmaking off that he's gonna get kills with like Wukong and Hui. Like there's not really like a lot of damage to be said between these champions.
Yeah, I mean if he hooks Varus, then Hui, then he dies. But everyone else is kind of like not good to hook. So it's very like, hard to play Pyke this game.
But in lane, like you can hook him, but this guy is playing so far back, and he's just destroying you in the wave. And like even if Karma stands in front, she like in mantra W's and just doesn't die, and you just lose the trade anyway.
Like honestly, if we hook him and then he starts clicking Pyke and gets a shield, like I don't even think we win. Like this, I mean, it's Varus Karma. They're complete like lane Thanos. Yeah. Like I don't think many champs beat them in lane. So it's a. I think it's odd to pick Pyke before we know they're solo laners, because especially because I think here the plan is like Pyke isn't really a pick for bot lane. I understand that. I'm playing Jhin. I can kind of like 1v2 most lanes, like just chill, you know, while Pyke plays the map. But because we don't know mid and top, it's like hard to like play the map because we don't know our matchups. We don't know if they're going to be pikeable, and they really weren't super pikeable.
So, yeah, and that's why I say like in sense of blind, like it's a blind pick because this is all they're showing. And like jungle and like bot lane doesn't matter. Like you already know that you're losing bot. And like, yes, you know Amumu, but even playmaking with a Wukong, like you're not really gonna get a lot. Like if this was like a Sejuani, then I would say it makes a lot more sense. Then there's a lot more playable space because Sejuani has a crazy early game, really great setup, works completely with this comp, has great long range, and you can roam with a Sejuani. But like roaming with a Wukong isn't really that great because that's really the purpose of your champ. Is that like these guys are gonna have prio, your Jin's trying to catch waves. And then the support is like trying to just roam and make plays. But again, like what we have to work with, I just didn't like because like, yes, it loses lane, but then it also doesn't really work well with like this. It doesn't gank very well, in my personal opinion. So that's the only reason why I said me personally didn't like it.
That assessment makes sense. I remember this Pyke game. I mean, frankly, I have a lot of confidence in Chad's strange support picks, and so if Chad says it's a Pyke game, I'm gonna just say sure.
Oh, for sure,
Sometimes the Pyke game doesn't claim
maybe
out, you know?
It doesn't. It's a Pyke. Sometimes it doesn't work.
Game. It's kind of inherently flippy, right? Like sometimes it'll work and pop off and look amazing, and sometimes it'll be like, we don't.
Yeah, because we've had a couple games I can think of where he's like, it's a Pyke game, and we're like, are you sure it's a Pyke game? And then he goes absolutely crazy. Like it's like, okay, it was a Pyke game.
Sometimes it's a Pyke game and you're like, and then he carries, and sometimes it's a Pyke game and you're like, and then he's useless. And it's like, I mean, that's Pyke, right?
That's
like,
Pyke.
Yeah, and if he's saying like this is a Pyke game and he just likes playing into those champions, that's fine. But we just need to make sure like, because like we saw this, we saw all this before we picked the Pyke. So if we said
Yeah,
this
we gotta
was a
figure
fight
out, like-
game, then we need to figure out something that's gonna work well with it because
Yeah, like
Wukong
how do we
doesn't.
make how do we make Pike succeed if this
Yeah.
is gonna be a Pike game? Then yeah.
Because like I said, I first think of champs like Sejuani. Another decent one I'm trying to think for like early skirmishing is like Pantheon is another decent one. That's another really great early skirmisher. Actually, I'm not even sure about Panth now since he got nerfed, but I mean, we could just say for the sake of argument, a champ that's kind of like Panth. Rek'Sai is also like a really good one. Really, so like champs with really decent mobility and like really great skirmish. Like that's what Pike wants to be like working with. So like
Yeah.
Wukong can skirmish, but there's not a lot of great setup, so it's not a lot of success with it.
Yeah, like if we had like Wukong Ari instead of Wukong Hui, then
Yeah, something like
Pike's looking
that.
better.
Yeah, Pike's looking a little bit better. Yeah, because you can get like because like Ari's like one of the better blinds, or even I think did we already play Aurora? Aurora was game one, right? Yeah,
We
it was
probably
game
played
one.
Aurora. We like that
Yeah.
champ. a lot.
They actually
She goes
they
quick.
they first
I think
picked
it was
it.
game one.
They
Game
picked
two.
it in game one.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay. The only other thing, just before I like jump into the game stuff, the only other champ that maybe I would have liked here to see into these, and then it ends up working well because of Anbessa in general, but like on 4 here, if you wanted to pick a melee support that did really well, like a Rel is actually really not that bad this game because it does also have shield break, which is like good alone against Karma. It does lose lane, but it gives you.
It was
like, a
banned
lot
in
of
first
setup.
rotation.
Did it? Oh, I missed it. Just kidding. I'm.
We
rejected.
specifically, Chad
Uh,
specifically said he doesn't want to play Rel because he thinks the nerfs are going to hurt her a lot. So he was like, there was like incoming nerfs. So he was like, I don't
But
wanna
that's
play
why
Rel
we
this turn,
banned
let's
it
do
was
W
to be
shield
So
is
that's why we
meh.
banned it.
Oh, okay.
because we were kind of leaving this scrim. So we have already scrimmed this team before, and we
Gotcha.
were kind of leaving some champs up because we were like, ooh, let's practice against this. Let's play against this. And Rel, we were kind of like, yeah, we don't want to play it. We don't really want to practice against it because we think it's going to get nerfed. Let's just get rid of it. Was the idea.
Gotcha. Okay. Also, I've been seeing like a lot of champs, especially on like red side. I don't know how comfortable and how much you like Sivir, but like I've been seeing a lot of people go Sivir into Varus because it doesn't have to lane. It's
Sil
really good into
loves
Varus,
Sivir.
and it's really good.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I've been
Sil
really-
hates Sivir.
They hate Sivir, that's why we don't pick it. Okay, no, it's fine. We get.
I'm never Sivir's not going in the pool. I'm sorry. We're gonna ban her if
That's
she's good
okay.
enough
It's
to-
it's my Malphite. I feel the same way. Malphite. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm not playing it. Sorry, guys. Like,
Other people's Yumi got it. Yep, makes sense.
I will say there's like there's a few champs that are like I hate this champ, but I would like I could play Sivir if she's been like meta defining for a long time and is like clearly here to stay. Like it's not a hard no, but I'm not a
And,
fan.
and it's
No, that's
game
a-
5, and we're like, please, it's just gonna win us the game. You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
What
it's
else-
game
what
day.
else?
You got it.
Zeri, my Zeri is trash. The
I don't
champ
even-
doesn't click for me.
Honestly, I hate
Um,
Zeri, and I think that Yanara is just better. I
Yeah.
think Yanara is just a better Zeri, but it has a lot more early game
who else?
skirmishing.
Draven and Callista, I have played plenty. Mechanically, I'm fine at, but I don't really love them, and I think they're champs you kind of have to really love to justify playing. I especially don't like how like they kind of have to win lane. Like if you lose lane as Draven or Callista, they're awful. Like you have to snowball, and I really like it when farming up is fine, especially in comp because Chad likes to roam. Like these aren't champs that super flow with my playstyle, but
like Draven,
Yeah.
hate
Other than that-
Callista.
So
That's
ever
what
since Callista's
you were putting.
Callista's nerf, I think she like lost like 150. No, actually, it wasn't 150 HP. I think it was like she lost HP. Oh god, I think it was like 80. I think she lost like 80 health, and then she also lost like damage on her Q. So like, I think this champion is actually just dog now. IMO. Like Draven is like
Yeah.
okay. Like if there's like other champions that are gone, like Varus and Jinx and things that outrange him and out utility him, like he's a good
Yeah.
like game 4, game 5. Like if you're just like Hansama on steroids, then fine. But yeah, like that's the only time I think Draven's ever good, and Draven's really good with Pike. Smile.
yeah. Well,
But yeah, that's just like drop stuff. But I mean, like I said, champ pool stuff, like whatever. You guys are gonna experiment. You're gonna find 1,000 different things. Trying to remember. So game 3, this one, yeah, there was a support roam timer. I think I remember it was like a grubs play that was roamed for. A lot of times, specifically, I think in all 3 games, I know you guys do the swap.
sometimes.
But I don't see you do it. As I say, I don't see it consistently. there's always reasons that you can do a swap, and it never has to always be for an objective, by the way. It could also be just because like your top matchup is so shit that like you're like, oh, it really is good with our comp that we're picking Cassante here. But Cassante is versus like a Darius. I don't know. Let's just say they're like, I wanted to pick Darius into it.
Yeah.
You can literally just be like, yo, like jungle, when you clear, like you're gonna start bot side. This is what we're gonna play for. You're gonna clear, and you're gonna help jungle crash, and we have prio bottom, so we're gonna crash, and then we're literally just gonna swap, just to give you the better matchup because you can't farm here, so at least here they're gonna push it, and you're gonna collect the wave, and we're gonna take their Darius and we're gonna make him useless. So now this is a win-win. Now their Darius, who can snowball, can't farm, and now our Cassante, who's chilling under tower, he can farm. And then after we take like the grubs, which is like where you're really gonna want to start hitting tower and not like in your plates away, that's when you can re-swap back because obviously this bot lane is 2v1 and they're gonna start hitting tower plates. But like if you have an idea that you want to play for grubs early, this is something you can literally do after like the third wave, like realistically, because you can plan for like a 3-wave crash, and by the time that happens, your jungler's done its full clear, and then you can do your swap.
Yeah. I don't think we can, or at least it's pretty hard to get a 3-wave crash with Jhin Pyke versus Varus Karma. I think it's like hard for us to really get any say over what happens with the wave.
Yeah, not specifically game 3. I just meant in general.
In general, it's definitely something we can do more. Yeah, we like almost never do this.
Yeah. Or something where, even specifically, you can do it in the vice versa, where you're saying like, oh, Cassante, like, can you trade your HP to be able to crash the wave? Can you just do it by yourself? And if the answer is yes, then you can just say, cool. Well, jungler, like, and this again, it's a pregame conversation when you talk about who has prio, who doesn't. Then whoever just goes, all right, cool. Then I'm going to clear like this, and then boom, and then here we are, and now we're 2v3. They're shoving the wave. Either we gank it, or they back up. You guys crash it, and then you're able to just do it then.
Yeah, I think expanding our first 3 or 4 waves like playbook essentially is good because a lot of this stuff is like you kind of need to have like a pre-planned thing with like all like basically everyone except the mid laner to do this stuff like this most of the time. Like we all 4 of us need to be on the same page about something. So like having some conversations so that we understand we're all on the same page and we can just say like let's do this thing, right? And then we do that.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's always about jungle to help with the crash, no matter what it is that you want to do. Because you can also realistically, like I said, whether it's like top, but it's like say like mid's a bad matchup. Let's say like you guys want to play for grubs, or you even want to play for dragon. Probably let's just use grubs as an example. And like say you guys pick the Azir mid, and then they wanted to counter you, and they go Yone, right? And like you literally can just swap your Yone or your Azir to bot side, and Yone can use his HP as a resource, and then off reset you guys can just go mid and then fight the melee mid laner that now can't farm because now you're support, and then you're able to actually like your support's able to walk and get like deep vision, and you can either play for dragon, or you can get vision here, and then like you can start playing for like grubs. But like especially like melee mids that are starting to become like super common, especially like Yone and these other inters that are picking some weird shit mid. Like you can also do it for like against like a Galio. Like if they do a Galio comp, same thing. You can just like run your bot lane mid, and then like this guy can't farm.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like a swap concept. I'm just saying, like rather than just saying like for one specific reason, there's 1,000 different reasons that you can do a swap. But a lot of the time, it's because it's like for farm, because you have a bad matchup top lane that you want to have guaranteed scaling for. Or it's that they have like a melee that can be punished.
Yeah.
And then this is going to give you guys the advantageous fight because Azir is able to play without feeling like he's in like kill threat. Those are like common reasons to swap.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think they're just not on my mind very much because like you can't really do them in solo, but they're definitely like
something we can talk about more.
Yeah, we gotta get on that.
Yeah,
it's OP.
It's super OP. If you watch like any VODs from AL, like they do it like they don't even give a shit for the reason. They're like, we're swapping, fuck bot lane.
Yeah, they just swap every game, right? Like they just
yeah, and then it's like a macro game because like generally what could happen is like when you guys back and then you start running this way, top lane trades all of his HP here to try to crash the wave, and now it's bouncing back. and then this is where you start fisting the top laner off. Your top laner literally just TP's bot, but it's like really grief because if your top laner TP's bot and he's catching a wave, but this top laner's still here, well, it's advantageous for you, right? Because now he's stuck here. He can't farm because it's slow pushing outwards, and he can't just TP bottom because your bot lane's here. So then they would have to reset, walk all the way up here, and to do all that, that literally takes like 45 seconds. And by that point, you've already taken 3 plates. And then when they do that, you then just reset and go back and just do the swap again. Just keep doing that. So if you watch any series versus AL, it's literally like a game of damn hot potato. It's really funny to watch. But they literally do. They come down here and then they crash this thing with like jungle hover. Like jungle will just like do shit like this, and then they ensure that this crash happens because it's again it's like 3v2, or it's like even a 3v3. They're done there sooner, and then they just reset and they go here, and they literally get to like here, and then top literally starts channeling the recall because the waves crashed. So then now it's pushing back, and then top laner just runs from base, and then they can either catch it or they could just TP and then catch the wave that these guys are pushing. Because again,
this is so great if you just kind of want to like neutralize lanes mega and just like bounce waves back and forth.
And that's just bouncing waves because when you crash this wave's now bouncing back. So now when he goes to come here, he's just going to catch this wave for free. But this guy, his wave's bouncing back. But oh shit, it's now a 2v1. What am I supposed to do? So then again, if they try to play a game of hot potato and like these guys try to like crash a wave, and hey guys, like your Cassante or whomever, your Mbessa or your Zac is like, hey, they're crashing a wave in my face. They're going to take a reset and they're going to run top. Then you guys crash the wave and then reset and run bottom. I keep doing that. But it's just, again, just watch watch AL series if you want to learn more about swaps. It's something to keep in mind. We'll go over the quick couple last points and just wrap up. So we already talked about the support roam timer. Game 3, again, you should walk up only when you have hovers. This was just without rinsing and repeating. Again, just another thing where there's like lines in which like you don't want to be walking unless you have like absolute vision to where you can walk. So as an example, there's like a thing for like vision lines. So if you are playing on blue side, let's use blue side as an example, and your wards are something like this. We'll put this one a little bit shallow. Here is where you're allowed to walk. You're not allowed to walk past. If you walk past this line of where your wards are, then this is where you need your team. So generally what you'll see people do in pro play is that they'll do like shallow wards. So they'll like the little dots will be just regular wards. So they'll do little shallow wards like this. And then they'll use these to then push deeper wards. And then this is where they start doing like pinks, like if they want to get deep wards like this. So now they can actually play even further. So now this is where they're allowed to play. And it like shrinks the map. And then if somebody oversteps, like depending on which side you're overloading or the objective, whether it's like top side or bot side, you can just collapse them because you have the vision. But yeah, vision lines are super important, especially in higher elo, like your guys' self. I mean, other than that, everything else is just like basic mechanical micro stuff, like nothing for too much on team stuff. Just the one thing for you as AD carry, being advocate for yourself, because a lot of the times there'd be like a wave hitting tower and then you're not able to like answer for stuff. Just make sure that, especially when you're playing stuff like Smolder, Jinx, that you're just advocating to your team like can't walk. And your team needs to be respectful of that, because I think I saw that happen like 3 or 4 times where you're like, we're sacking a wave, or you try to like stay long enough for cannon and then you just drop the ranged and then try to go fight. That's where you're going to go down a lot of CS. But I mean, other than that, I think overall your guys' gameplay was pretty good. I think you guys mesh really well as a team. Again, like a highlight of like all of this is, I guess basically it's like communication of like go buttons. So like on what, whether it's like on this minion or something like if they push up past this line, something like that. 2 is like again, like no solo catching waves unless you have like vision or support and like jungle hover. because this happened like quite a bit, and especially if you get bounties, this can get really bad. And then 3, like power spikes being a really big one, not just for you guys, but also for like the enemy team, making sure that we're hitting tab and making sure that we're constantly stronger. And this is specifically for like laning, but this could be anybody. This could also be like Kaladin, like when he's topside, being like, hey, he's on a full item. Like if he TPs, like I can TP, but we're gonna lose it. Like right, like this is also still really important information to know.
Yeah.
And then the last one, number 4, like swaps. You guys should definitely do research on swaps. And again, the AL series is the best for that. But if I had to like sum it up, these are probably the 4 things I think you guys can use for games going forward. And be really helpful.
That's good to mark down. Thank you.
Yeah, I can put the big notes in the like in the server real quick. I feel like I would want to add the 4th one of I guess specifically on communication of go buttons before fights. I'll put like
you could put in parentheses like on this minion if they walk here or something, whatever.
Yeah, I want to say like the go buttons call looking.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
DPS calls names.
Yep.
Okay. I'll do a little team ad as well.
Perfect. Thank you, Sel.
Yeah.
And then for like more swaps, you can like do like in parentheses, you can do like AL series or something like that. So that way, if people want to like, what are you talking about swaps? You can be like, yeah, there's a whole ass thing about it. But like hopefully between like this video with me drawing and explaining it and going over it and you guys seeing it live, you can be like, wow, these guys literally just swapped just because.
Yeah, I recorded everything too. I think the only thing that didn't get recorded was like the first like minute and a half didn't have video feed. I was trying to get that up.
Gotcha.
So everything else I can post for the guys.
Awesome. Well, if anything else pops up, if the guys have something they agree with, disagree with, or something they want me to expand on more, just let me know, and I'll be more than happy to help.
Yeah. Next time we do this, hopefully we'll save and not have weird stuff happen and have postponed.
Yeah, we can actually have a video, and also hopefully we can have like the whole team, because it feels kind of silly sometimes to talk through like full team strats without full team. But
yeah, at least we can record it and watch it. It's just good.
Yeah.